Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined tonight by producer Todd.
Good evening.
So tonight, we're very excited. We're discussing a brand new movie, just having its official premiere from director Jason Eisener, and it is Kids versus Aliens. So, Kids versus Aliens follows an all-time rager of a teen house party turns to terror when aliens attack, forcing two warring siblings to band together to survive the night. All right, so this is actually based on the VHS 2 segment Slumber Party Alien Abduction, which they turned into a feature here. So if it looks familiar, there you go. They turned it into a feature film. Jason Eisener certainly should know that name here. Hobo with the Shotgun, which it's funny. This is only his second feature-length film, which is wild because I'm a big Hobo with the Shotgun mark. And of course, Dark Side of the Ring, which, yeah, like, got to bring that back. All this like darker side of the ring on YouTube is not the same. We want Dark Side of the Ring back. I feel like they've had a whole season's worth of material just the last like year, maybe just the last week. So it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
They did XPW and then they got killed off. So
there you go. That's the main event. What are you going to do? All right. So Kids versus Aliens. So you can definitely see Jason Eisner's love for 80s wrestling. I was about to say for that ring is way too nice for these kids to have, but I'm like, all right, rich parents, I guess
I will say Kruger was very upset about the ring. I got quite a few messages while he was watching it. These motherfuckers got a better ring than what I'm trading. Yeah, I'm happy with the ring.
Kruger's got to go package pile drive some kids. So yeah, this is basically like a very like R-rated Nickelodeon movie / fantasy. I mean, these kids, certainly you're going to see yourself in these kids. They the whole like just every cool thing these kids have. Like they have a freaking wrestling ring. They have a like just this elaborate just war games set up in their yard, which I just think is just so cool. I may be old now, but I kind of want that setup too. I want the wrestling ring, and yeah, just substitute like paintball guns basically. So that was all really cool to set this up. It is a short movie. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes, so it's not very long. But they do a pretty good job of establishing the characters. You have Sam, the older girl who has aspirations of becoming a famous pro wrestler herself, and she's sort of desperately wanting to fit in with the popular kids. You have Billy, who's kind of like the jock asshole character that Sam has a crush on, and yeah, the parents super just aloof. They don't particularly care. Just here's your wrestling ring. we're off to some business meeting. It almost moves a little bit too fast at times. Like I felt like I could have spent a little more time getting to know some of these characters, but overall they do a good job. In spite of the fact, like, there is gore in this film. Once, no spoiler alert needed, the aliens show up. There's a lot of
aliens in here.
There are aliens. A lot of slime too, which kind of reminds me of like OG Nickelodeon. That in Nickelodeon, faces weren't melted off. That's a little bit different, but it's weird because it still feels like a kid's movie in some ways. Like if you're okay with them seeing a little bit of gore, maybe a few references to fellatio, like it still kind of feels like something that, a little more for kids. I liked it, but it's a little more, kid oriented than I thought. I don't know, Todd. You're a parent here. Would you let your kid watch it?
Not at the age he's at now, but this is a good early horror film.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think it's especially with the style of FX. It feels very 80. I think.
yeah. When we were, we always throw out movies on the docket that we're going to cover, and when I heard Kids versus Aliens, I just heard it and I thought, oh, okay, well, this is like a children's film, and yeah, I liked it. I don't want to sound cold. I didn't love it, but I feel like it's something that I would have loved even more as a child, and it
Well,
kind of took me back a little bit. I don't know if it's like fatigue. Like this isn't like 80s nostalgia, but it's still like a nostalgia picture. And I just wonder if that's starting to wane a little bit for me. I don't know. What did you think? Did you love this one?
well, since the child in me is not dead, I did like it a little bit better than you. I thought it was a good time. It's a fun watch. The pace keeps going. I do get what you're saying, though. A few times I kind of wish we kind of let it marinate a little more. But
Yeah.
overall, with an hour and 15 brisk runtime, it's a good time. I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, it's not Hobo with the Shotgun, but I mean, other than that, I had a really good time with it, and I'd recommend it when this drops on demand and digital on January 20th from RLJ and Shudder.
Nice. Yeah. Maybe I would have liked it more if we had gotten like a CG Rutger Hauer showing up at the end and just start blowing away the aliens with the shotgun. He needs to connect the universes, but pretty damn hard to do another Hobo with the shotgun without Rutger Hauer. Rest in peace. But yeah, no, I dug it, and it's a lot of practical stuff. The aliens look fine. It just, I don't know, it doesn't quite, it's like it's not a kids movie, but it doesn't feel quite geared to adults either. So I feel I'm kind of like somewhere in the middle. Like it's a solid film. It's just not.
Your inner child's dead. I think I already nailed that down.
My inner child is very much alive. Just this one just left me kind of cool. I watched recently Bone Chillers on friend of the show, Chris Slasher Home Video. Watched a bunch of those on his channel, and I love those. And those
but that's a nostalgia thing for you.
No, it's not. I didn't really watch those when I was a kid.
I know, so. But I'm saying the format, it's like Goosebumps and any of that stuff from the time. It's a very familiar format.
Sure. And Adam Rifkin always delivers. Yeah, I dug it, but I'm gonna say show it to your kids. This is fine.
Well, I'm going to say right now, do not listen to Dan and show it to your kids unless you know your kids can handle it.
In my opinion, show it to your kids.
Okay, because don't listen to Dan. He is not a parent. I don't want this blowback coming on me.
That's fine. If I had kids, I would make them watch it.
And that's why people call social services.
It's not that bad. A couple melted faces.
I agree. Like I think 10 and above, but under that I wouldn't go with.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean,
yeah, kids nowadays. Yeah, I get that. Kids today can't handle that.
Yeah, well, they should. They should be forced to watch.
Again, Dan, social services.
All right.
When you throw that forced word in there.
But I liked it. Like I said, this movie really doesn't do anything particularly wrong. I think, yeah, let it marinate a little bit more. I could have spent a little bit more time getting to know the kids, but it tells a complete story. There's potential for more. We'll see what happens. The effects overall, pretty good for a low budget movie. It doesn't go heavy on the CG. I appreciated that. Yes, those aliens were in fact actually there. That's always nice. And yeah, I'm curious with this one in if you think it spoke to your inner child. It didn't quite for me, but it's still
I think the one thing that this thing will have going against it, I think people are going to expect something a little bit more Psycho Gorman-ish.
That is true. That is true.
I think that's the one thing that may hurt it. But it's not that movie. It's a I don't want to say it's a family movie because it's not, but it's a fun, it's a It's a starter horror film, I think, for a lot of kids.
Take your toddler; he'll be fine.
Don't listen to Dan.
But yeah, Psycho Gorman's actually a good example though, because that one is definitely not a kids movie. there's enough gore in that going on that is like, yeah, not showing little Timmy Psycho Gorman. I'm gonna give that, when he's like 9.
This is on par with The Gate and stuff like that.
Yeah, there you go. So child actors, I thought everybody was really good. The actor that plays Billy, who I've seen in other stuff recently, Caleb McDonald, plays a great asshole. I thought he was really smarmy, and you're really hoping throughout the movie that he bites it in a very brutal way. Phoebe Rex is Samantha, I thought was really good. I honestly, for a cast of kids, I don't have any complaints about the actors. I thought everybody played their parts well. Everybody was pretty likable. And yeah, let's go ahead and rate it. Let's say you, Todd.
I'm a 3.5.
Okay. I am a 2.5. But yeah, show your kids.
Yeah, check it out don't listen to Dan. Check it out when it hits VOD, and then I'm sure it'll premiere on Shudder in the future. So,
all right. So on that note, guys, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. It all starts at just $1, and you get a lot of great content. Shout out to Swaggy G, one of our newer patrons, and Orc, who just became a $10 patron. Ball in there, Orc. And if anybody else has already joined, we will give you a shout out on the next show. And on
our
that
best
note,
of 2022, we'll make sure. Yeah, that's our next show.
Best of 2022 is going to be Wednesday, so check that out. And I think that's about everything. Yeah, Flesh Wound After Dark. Check that out. Those you do not want to watch with your kids. Absolutely not. But you should watch it on YouTube because those shows are very popular. And that's all I got. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.